Happy Wednesday, October 29th, coming to you alive, coming to you well, coming to you full of gratitude, and coming to you as a true advocate. And I'm going to share something with you that is very personal, but that's who I am. I'm going to share this with you. So, my grandma unfortunately passed away, and the house was left in a trust, and my mom was co-trustee, so 50-50 with my aunt. Well, my aunt, she's been weird, along the way with the money and all these things. And we're getting close to closing. I said, Mom, have you seen the settlement statement or anything? She said, what's that? And I said, wait, what? You haven't signed anything? Like, she didn't know much. And I was like, hold on, Mom, let me call the agent. The agent gave me the escrow person's information, and Southern California escrow and title are separate. So I got in touch with the escrow officer. She's like, well, I can't give you any information. I said, okay, ask my aunt if I can get some information from you. So she gave permission. So I started to talk to her. I said, yeah, my mom hasn't been copied on anything. They're like, oh, we only have one person on the trust. So I was like, no, my mom's co-trustee on this. I said, hold the phone, stop everything. I said, my mom needs to be on all the documents. You guys need my mom needs to be protected. So I said, we need to make sure that either we reprint all documents or reproduce all the documents, or we need to create an addendum in escrow that states that no money will be distributed to anybody unless it's a joint account with my mom and my aunt on that account, and escrow will hold all money, right? Well, we got down to the end of it. I said, Mom, you need to go to the bank. You need to make sure that you're on that bank account information. And when my mom pulls up to the bank, who's there? Who's there? My aunt's there. My aunt's there at the bank already. And my mom told my aunt, like, why didn't you name me or mention me as co-trustee on any of the documents or anything? And I told title and escrow, I said, isn't that your job? I said, what if somebody else was a trustee in another state, another brother, another relative? I was like, you guys could be held liable to that. So I said, listen, my mom's not going to resign as co-trustee and have you guys do an amendment. I'm not okay with that. I said, I want all of the documents reprinted. My mom's going to send a notary out to my mom. And I want to confirm that the bank account information that you guys are sending, the proceeds of the sale of the property, are going to this bank account that my mom has her name on. So cool. My mom got her settlement statement. The notary came to my mom's house yesterday. She called me. She said, Mijo, thank you so much. I didn't know what to do. And I didn't know my sister was being so shady, but it's so weird how people can get like that when it comes to money. But my mom is happy. She's secured. I said, listen, as soon as that money hits your account, you are in that bank parking lot and you are taking that money out and you're taking that cashier's check and you're going to your own bank. And so I had to protect mom yesterday. I had to get involved, and she was just so grateful that she had me there. And she's like, I don't know what I would have done without you. But it's just like, you know what? We're able to look at this. And even though I'm not a part of that sale, like, that's my mom. And I was able to help her to advocate for her and make sure that everything was done the way that it was supposed to be. And so we are in a position to serve, to help, but also to protect the people that are in our lives that might not be as educated as us. And so I feel really good. My mom's coming into her inheritance. She's moving up here to be closer to the family. And so my aunt told her 2 weeks ago, oh, just send me your bank account information and I'll cut you a check. I'll cut you a check. My mom's co-trustee. And I was like, wait, cut you a check? Wait a minute. Well, who's to stop her from saying 100,000, 50,000, 25,000? Who's to say that? And so I got involved. My mom is happy. So I just want to share that with you guys because it's on my mind, it's on my heart, and I'm just so glad that my mom is happy, she's secure, and that we can move on with this part of her life and she can start planning for her retirement. Make sense, you guys?
Elias cool. Fired up.
What's that?
I said Elias getting fired up on this.
Oh, bro.
Dude, I get it, man. You family, money. I mean, it can be go down a bad path. I mean, when you get money involved, I mean, I know why, but I mean, I don't know what happens in our brains or something.
When my mom called my aunt out in the bank, my aunt was first off nervous when my mom walked in, like, whoa, what's going on? And she didn't know that I had already called escrow. All the documents are going to be reproduced and reprinted. She didn't know any of that stuff. And so my mom said, why didn't you name me as co-trustee? And my aunt said, she stuttered and couldn't even finish her sentence.
Yeah.
Man, man, I'm just so glad that my mom's protected and that,
Yeah.
we're in a position to be able to look at this and be like, all right, something's not right. And so, but it's also the
Exactly.
risk that they run in Southern California. Title and escrow are completely separate companies.
Separate.
And so, I learned a lot through this process and my mom learned a lot. And so I'm going to have somebody bring us out on the field per usual. And that person's actually going to be you, Otis. Otis and Gary have a new billboard that has their faces on it at multiple places along the highway, quoting E40. So I'm stoked for you guys. Good to see your name in lights like that. And so, Otis, I'm going to have you bring us out on the field on this amazing Wednesday morning, my man. Set the tone, set the sentiment, and bring us out on the field. Let's go.
But did y'all love the Team Fast name up on there too,
Of
though?
course, bro. Of course. But this is about you guys. I'm stoked, man. But I'm more excited for you.
As you guys know, I've been talking about this for a long time, and with everything going on, and me just wanting to leap from one thing to another and not kind of seeing things through. I needed Gary for this. Uh, I know when people hear Gary talk and everything, you can tell Gary comes from knowing his shit, and Gary's been such a pivotal part in the Bay Area, um, in all aspects, music to tech. So, having the ideas in my head and getting to paper are one thing, but getting it there and then seeing it all the way through, I really needed Gary on this. We got the blessing from E40 to go ahead and do it. So I'm just really stoked that, we got this. We've been hearing you guys getting honest about it and about the market and branding. In the back of my head, I've been like, yeah, it's coming, and wait till it comes. But to finally see it yesterday, to see my son be hella juiced, Gary be hella juiced, and all the love we got back from the team, I'm really ecstatic. Like, I guess that what you could take from this is if you're gonna bet on anything, bet on your fucking self. You know what I mean? Like, you have to be out there. People are only gonna know me and Gary are realtors if we put ourselves out there as that. You know, when I first got on the team, I had huge imposter syndrome. And I want to say just up until a year ago, to be honest with you, I finally let that go. I love people seeing me as this different version of myself as a realtor. And not only that, being a realtor that really helps people, and not only people but other agents. So I'm really geeked up. This is just the beginning. I'm going to New York. I'm going to be in Times fucking Square. It's going to be up there. So everybody in New York gonna see me and Gary, gonna see Team Fast. So if anybody wants, some love on these billboards, holla at me and Gary. We got to play. So yeah, just see us for the next couple months. We're gonna be blowing up the Bay Area.
I love it. I love it. Well, congratulations. I'll make sure I wasn't able to share that post. If you can, one of you guys just tag me in that. That way I can put it, share some love as well.
Anybody wants to join us at 10 o'clock, we'll be in front of the Oakland Arena, the Coliseum. It's from 10 to 11. It's going to be flashing up a couple times. So we'll be over there before hitting the office today.
Let's go,
Just
my man.
FYI.
Listen, your family is proud of you, and you know who would be proud of you, man. Your brother would be super proud of you and everything that you're creating and everything that you're doing and everything that you're building for your family. And I'm so glad that your son gets to see that. Really good stuff, you guys. So we're gonna kick this thing off. I'm gonna have somebody. No, I'm actually gonna have three people play a quick game. It's going to be pick a card, any card. And so you guys don't know what's on the backside of these cards, but I know what's on the backside of these cards. So before I even pick a card, any card, I need to have three volunteers. Throw your hand up really quick using the reaction button down below. It's a little heart, and just raise your hand. Yes, you don't know what's on the back of these cards, so I need three people to boldly throw their hands up. All right, cool. We got four. Cool, I got four. So Mara, you are up first, okay? We're going to have a little fun with this. I'm going to do this in person at events as well, but let's just do this here. You're going to tell me when to stop, and that's the card that you're going to pick. So you tell me when to stop, and I'll stop. Stop. Okay, cool. Here's a cool question for you as we break the ice this morning on this beautiful Wednesday. Who has had the biggest impact on your life and why, my friend?
Ooh, good question. All right. I like this. I need this today. I
Let's
need to
go.
be challenged. So, who has had the biggest impact in my life? So, it's an interesting thing. I'm gonna go with my ex-husband because the turn of events that happened in that relationship and him having an affair for 4 years forced me to change who I was and my perception on people in general, on relationships, on so many layers. I mean, I'm a very, very trusting person, so I don't want to say that it took away from that, but it definitely it forced me to become who I am today, and it forced me to have a resilience and a strength and more confidence than I ever thought I could when he was a big part of my life. So I know that, like, love that perspective, but it really is that he made me see things under a completely different light. I mean, I thought it was going to be Dan and Mara forever. We were high school sweethearts. We had kids together. We did everything, and that rocked my world in a way that I will say will never ever. I'll never be able to go back to that person. I see pictures of that person, and I'm like, I don't even know her anymore. So
Wow.
different
Wow.
take.
No,
I
no,
weren't
that's
expecting that.
no, at all, but so powerful. Like the lessons that we learn, like every relationship teaches us something. And like to think about the person you are today and what you had to endure and how it built this strength and also awareness, but also led you to the person that understands you, respects you, and that you're supposed to spend the rest of your life with. So, Mara, that
Yeah.
was really, really powerful. Let's give some love, some light, some
Yeah.
positive on the
And I
screen.
will say a little quick shout out to my current husband, because without that relationship, I wouldn't have been able to have the deep relationship that I have with my current husband, and just the understanding that we have for each other, and the way that this second marriage has been so much of a blessing for me. Like I can't, I was like, I'm never falling in love again. This is bullshit. And he also did some mind tricks with me too. So now I love. Okay, everybody relax.
That's right. God, I absolutely love this, Mara. All right, Blessing, you are up next, my friend. Take yourself off of mute. We're playing a little pick a card, any card. So, Blessing, I'll start from this way. You tell me when to stop.
Stop.
Stop?
Yeah.
All right, cool. Ooh, what do you owe yourself?
Oh,
And it's so powerful that that one landed on you, my friend. So, what do you owe yourself? Let's roll, big dog.
owe myself the space to be authentically me in a way that scares me, but in like the best of ways. I owe myself that like firm foundation of, just like Otis said, if I don't believe in anyone else, believing in myself and going for it, and just unleashing everything that I know is inside me and just breaking through that fear. Like I genuinely owe it to myself to do it.
Blessing, are you having the best year you've ever had in real estate?
I am. I genuinely am. But it's not just, it's everything this business affords us to do. I just never knew that life could look like this. And it's not perfect, but just the ease and the poise and the confidence that I have to be able to move through, and then to speak up like this and to express myself and feel like the world isn't going to collapse because I said that it isn't perfect, but just the ideas and the impact I have, they're no longer dreams. Like I can see exactly who would benefit from them. And then just like that joy and the peace that I have when I think about it, that's absolutely unbelievable.
Boom. Well, I absolutely love this. And if you're tuning in a little bit later, we're doing a quick icebreaker, let's call that. We are doing pick a card, any card, and Blessing just answer hers. What do you owe yourself? I thought that was really, really powerful. Let's give her some love, light, positive energy. We're going to go to Joanne, then we'll go to Otis, and we'll shift gears and start talking about the market. All right, Joanne, tell me when to stop. Pick a card, any card. Tell me when to stop. 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 You got to take yourself off of mute.
Stop.
Here?
Yeah.
All right, cool. This is a fun one. What is an experience you would want to relive over again? Was it a travel, a place that you went, somebody that you met? What is an experience you would want to relive over again? Let's roll.
Okay. Two different experiences come to mind. I guess one would be I went to Israel and Egypt when I was 19, and I feel like I I had a great time and I appreciated it, but maybe not at the level that I feel like I should have, because I don't think, at 19 I really understood what an important trip that was. So and I got to go to the Wailing Wall, and I got to go to just all of these amazing historical places, and so I wish I could relive that, because I feel like it would be so much more meaningful at my age now, and I would just understand it so much more.
Beautiful, beautiful. You said there was two. Was that the two?
No, the other one is a little more, I don't know, superficial, I guess. I went to a concert like last year. It was Train and REO Speedwagon at the Shoreline Amphitheater,
Yeah.
and I love concerts, but we tried to get like last minute tickets to try to get like great tickets for a great price, and this one was just like the top of the top. We got front, like literally front row seats for $150, and they should be like $3,000 each. Someone just couldn't go. They posted their tickets for sale. We snagged them and we went, and it was like everybody that was working there, the people around us, they're like, who did you know to get those seats? Because there's literally only 2 seats right there at the front. So it was just like, it was just an amazing experience. Amazing.
How cool. I love it. While we're on this topic really quick, before we shift gears, I want you guys to put your favorite concert that you have ever been to in the chat down below. I don't care if you were 8 years old or if it was last year. Put your favorite concert down in the chat down below. I want to hear this. I want to see that from you guys. I want to go over that. And you saw Janet Jackson Rhythm Nation? Oh, girl. I absolutely love that. All right, go ahead and put it down in the chat below. We got one more person. Otis, are you able to play the game with us, or should I pass to somebody else?
I am able. Let's do it.
All right, cool. I'm gonna give you yours. All right. How about that? All
Okay.
right.
I
All
got
right.
that.
Here it is. When do you feel most like you? When do you feel most like you? Just natural you, just being yourself. When do you feel most like you, Otis? Let's go.
Wow. I mean, I'm gonna go out and say almost any time, you know. I mean, I feel like I think that's why people relate to me so much and everybody's just cool with me, because at the end of the day, I'm always me. Like when I'm mad, I'm me. When I'm happy, I'm me. And when I'm sad, I'm me. Like I know you guys see me post, you know, a lot of posts and get emotional about my brother. I know you guys see me all the time posting about the love I have for my son. I know you guys see me every day trying to give my all to you guys, to, you know, anybody I come across. So I think that at the end of the day, that's my superpower. I tell people all the time, they ask me like, man, how do you do this? Or what do you do? Oh, I'm like, man, I just fucking be myself. Like I'm unapologetically me all the time. That's why sometimes I think people are always like, when is this motherfucker gonna really show how he is? Like, this is me. This is me unapologetically. I give two fucks. Like I do in a sense, like right now I'm smoking and I would never want nobody like to see that and disrespect our flow. That's why I got my camera on. But there's only certain points where, you know, I won't do that. And it's always in the betterment of other people. Like I don't want to offend you, or I don't want to offend someone on the line, or, you know, me 10 years, I want to say about 10 years ago, I wouldn't give a fuck about that. But no, I think that's my thing nowadays. Like, you know, we're all in this new world where cancer culture and all these things matter. So sometimes you do have to watch what you say. But then again, I think that's the humanity in me, that the fact that I don't even know somebody, but I don't want to hurt their feelings. So I'd say I'm me all the time.
I love this. Yeah, you know what? I absolutely love this. And listen, I often meet people and they're like, man, you're the same person in the same person off camera that you are on camera. I'm like, cool, this is just me, right? Take it or leave it. Whether or not you like it, that's okay. But I think that's our biggest flex in this life, is that just being able to express the real people that we are. Because sometimes we go into rooms, it feels a little awkward. You feel out of sorts. Like, should I be in this room? There's no room that I ask myself, should I be in? But 10 years ago, 5 years ago, I probably thought like that. Like, do I even deserve to be in this room? So Otis, really appreciate that sentiment. You guys, if you guys want to get one of these boxes, it's really cool. I found it on IG. It's How Deep Will You Go? These are really good conversations to have with your family, with your spouse, with your significant other, obviously in icebreaker team meetings and things like that. So I thought it was really cool. I figured we would do something. Did you guys like that exercise? Something different? All right, cool, you guys, cool. So I'm always trying to find different ways to engage the crowd. And speaking of engaging the crowd, I'm actually going to put TT on the spot this morning. Yes, my friend. Yes. $1 Million Smile. So TT, I'm going to have you share a little bit of your takeaway from our coaching session yesterday. And if you could share some of the things that you're going to be doing differently with inside of your database to find more opportunities for you to close deals quicker, what would that be? I want you to give a snapshot and overview of what we covered yesterday, because I think we had a powerful session. So I want you to share, my friend.
Sure. I believe we had an absolutely powerful session that completely changed the way I'm going to move from now on. I reached out to Coach Elias because I was feeling a little in a rut, and he just told me simple things that I already knew, but I needed to be reminded at that moment. I think timing is everything. Just like Mara's dealing, her ex-husband, I am also thankful for my ex-husband because he's changed who I am completely for the better. So anyways, what you told me yesterday was just to kind of call people out. Hey, I see you searching for 123 Main Street. I'm setting up tours tomorrow. Without the ums. I'm setting up tours tomorrow. What time do you want to meet? I must have, as soon as we got off the phone, I must have sent that message to at least 15 people. And it just gave me the confidence to do that all the time. So I am totally moving different. I already have confidence in my world, but in real estate, I need to bring that confidence here. And last night I went to sleep was, what? I already know that. Why didn't I do that? But having coach tell me and remind me that's what I need to do in real estate, I am absolutely moving differently. So I'm calling people out. I'm planning to send a message to someone saying, hey, you told me you wanted to buy a house. Do you still want that? You're ignoring my calls. Let me know why.
I love it. So TT, talk to them about what we spoke about with your upswing and downswing when it came to you asking people or sharing with people the next steps, meaning our buyer consultation when you did your showings. Remember, we spoke about upswing or downswing and the tonality of how you're actually leading people to a buyer consultation. Talk to us about that.
Sure. So the upswing problem. Do you want me to set up a buyer's consultation? That's the upswing. and I know sometimes I have that problem. Sometimes I'm too nice and I want to be your friend too much, but we're talking business. So yeah, coach told me I need to go on the downswing. So what we're going to do next is set up a buyer strategy. And I have tomorrow at 11 a.m. available. Is that good for you? Look at your phone. Break eye contact.
Okay, but okay, there was a subtle thing that she just did right here. When she said so this is TT. Hey, wonderful, the energy. As soon as she said, here's what we do next, what happened to her face?
I got serious.
She got a little bit more, her tone changed just a little bit. I said, still smile, but reduce the smile just a fraction and have a different tone in your voice, right? It's like she's been playing at this octave, and now what we're doing is we're just bringing the octave down a little bit. Here's what we do next. This is what we're going to do. I'm checking your vitals. Here's your blood pressure. Stand on that scale. Her tone got different and her physiology got different. So in that moment when she is she's at that crossroads of they like the house, they didn't like the house. We're standing there in the living room. What do we do next? She was kind of like upswinging it. Would you like to? Maybe no. Big smiles. It's all right. Let me know. Versus here's what we do next. Reduce the smile. Change the physiology, change the tone, change the tempo, get serious, look at her phone, and don't break eye contact until they pick that time. TT, I'm super, super excited. No, you got a look on your face.
No, I'm convinced, and getting people to the buyer consultation is huge. I already knew, they trust me more. And I'm glad you brought that up because that's absolutely true. Once we get to the buyer consultation and we actually talk business, now I've earned your trust. So my challenge was getting them there. I was too nice, and now I need to put my business hat on. So I'm changing everything today.
That's right. When you tell your son, get off that game, go do this, shut that door, close that drawer, right? It's a different tone. It's a different feeling. And I'm not saying be mean. I'm just saying be assertive.
Absolutely.
No, you had a reaction. I don't know if it was good, bad, or indifferent. But
No, that's true. I'm thinking about everybody that I talk to everybody like that in my life. For some reason, I didn't transfer that over to real estate because I was trying to be too nice and their friend. But it's true. I do. I talk to my kids like that. I say, put the dishes away.
That's right. That's right.
Mel, sorry. Coffee, whatever.
Well, I appreciate you, TT, and thank you for being open to receive. Mel, you had a thought, contribution, insight?
I'm just trying to figure out what the hell Otis is talking about in the group chat about Wu-Tang Clan and DMX. I'm like trying to catch up. I feel like I missed that.
Here's the question. Here's the prompt. I said, put your favorite group, band, concert that you've ever been to in the chat down below.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Thank you for that. Thanks, Coach. Thanks for bringing me up to speed.
No worries. But Mel, while you're here, any thoughts, takeaways, insight on the conversation thus far?
Yeah, I'm just sad I didn't get picked to answer one of those questions. I was looking forward to getting picked, but
All right, go, Mel. Go, Mel. Go, Mel. Tell me when to stop.
stop.
Here.
Yeah.
Okay. What is an experience you would want to relive over again in your life?
Oh, damn. Be careful what you wish for, people. Um, so there's so many things, and it's hard to just pick one, but I would say giving birth to my second son was an
Really?
experience that I would
I
love
said,
to
really?
look at your face. Now we exchanged looks now. Now you got my look on your face. Yeah, it was like for those of you that don't know, the birth of my first son, Adonis, was extremely traumatic. I was in labor for 105 hours over 4 days. And
Wow.
it ended up in an emergency C-section, and he came out with an app score of 1, which all babies are born with an app score. Basically, like 0 is dead, 10 is thriving, and he was born with an app score of 1. He was born not breathing, and he was in the NICU for 4 nights. And I didn't get to see him, and he was on a breathing machine, and like just seeing him for the first time with all these tubes hooked up to him, it was just like one of the scariest moments of my life. And here you are as a new mom, you're like so excited and scared and like, don't know what to expect. And it was like the worst possible situation. And I had to go to therapy for it for like almost a year just to get over it. But on the hindsight of it all, the birth of my second son, who is now 2 months old, that was like the experience I feel like every woman should have. It was amazing. It was empowering. It was beautiful. It was a natural birth. He came out perfect. The nurse team was like amazing. They were like telling me how powerful I am and beautiful I am the whole time I was, like giving birth to him. And my husband was there, like kissing me. And it was just like so healing. And it was exactly what my heart needed to heal. After that really traumatic experience. So
Wow.
it was amazing. I would relive that
Powerful.
every day.
Yes, that's powerful. Well, you guys, I appreciate you, playing along with this. There's so many great questions in this, and we'll do more of the, things like this. But I appreciate you, Mel. I appreciate everyone's contribution. TT, thank you for being vulnerable, sharing with the group what you took away from yesterday's session. But let's talk a little bit about the market. Got some things created for you guys. I want to talk a little bit about the market. I'm going to drop this article in the chat down below, and here you guys go. You guys can do with it what you will. Boom, bam. All right, cool. So I just put it in the chat down below, and oh no, let's see. Why is it? Okay, cool. There we go. All right, cool. Meeting group chat. There we go. All right, cool. I just put this article down below. As you guys know, seeing as we live in the Bay Area, and this is where all tech startups go to truly, truly thrive. I talked to the owner of a company called Agently, which is a tool that we use at the company, for intensity and for different things that we do for onboarding and different training. And he's like, when I'm ready, then I move to San Francisco. My business is not where I need it to be in order for me to go to San Francisco. That's where the real dogs go to play. And so we think about what's happening in San Francisco, and we're always going to be the haven for tech as well as for finance, but more so along the lines of tech. Some of the best tech that we use in our day-to-day that we are accustomed to came right out of the beautiful Bay Area as well as the Silicon Valley. And so what's happening is that you guys are seeing this surge of AI, and the way that our business looks, the way that our economy looks, and the way that positions that we know today exist will look vastly different in 5 to 10 years from now. There will be a time where there's robots in the normal people's living room, folding clothes and doing dishes and all the things that we hate to do nowadays. That's the world that we're going to go into. But what we're seeing is that all these engineers are graduating, and what the AI companies are doing is they're saying, we want to offer you a bonus. And that sign-on bonus is saying, move out to San Francisco. Here's your annual salary of $300,000 with a signing bonus. And what they're doing is they're taking those signing bonuses and they're going and purchasing homes. So what you're going to start to see is you're going to see this true surge in houses in San Francisco. And then obviously that impacts all the surrounding areas. everything that happens in the East Bay, Sacramento, as well as now the Central Valley is really a ripple effect of what happens in San Francisco. So I saw this article, I thought it was applicable for our conversation today. Bay Area housing market heats up amid AI boom, return to office. Pending sales jump 17% year over year in San Francisco last month, more than any other major metro. The typical home also sold roughly 20 days, over twice as fast as the typical US home. So what's great about this is that you guys can see where these houses are selling the fastest. This article kind of breaks it down from San Jose as well as San Francisco. But I want you guys to be conscious of this. And I want you guys to think about this when you're thinking about marketing. If you're somebody that is having a client that is looking in San Francisco, or if you're wanting to go after listings in San Francisco, there's some cool things to talk about. And so what I did is I went to work in chat. And what I did is I asked chat to kind of break down some things for me and kind of tell me what the impact is on our community and in our surrounding area. So here was my prompt, and obviously we're going to go farther into this. How many new tech companies and AI companies have moved into San Francisco and surrounding markets? Of these employees, what are some of the highest paid positions? What is the economic impact on housing in San Francisco and surrounding areas? So what it did is it gave me a full breakdown. It gave me a breakdown of where people are building, what people are going to look forward to in the coming years, that they are projected to occupy more than 16 million square feet of office space in San Francisco by 2030. So when you think about the jobs that are coming, you think AI is booming right now. Well, we have just begun. We have just begun, and we are just scraping the surface of what is possible. And so when we look here, some of the highest paid roles and companies hiring right now, research engineer, 240,000 to 300,000, with a senior staff package commonly 500 to 900,000. That's base, that's equity stock in the company, and that's a bonus. So what they're doing is they're leveraging that, they're taking that bonus and they're putting down payments on houses in San Francisco, Silicon Valley, as well as surrounding communities. So when you think about that, you think about the impact that this is going to have on us. Everything that happens outside of San Francisco, it's all a ripple effect. So there's tons and tons of information on here. I'll make sure to put this into a single document, but I wanted to go a little bit further. And I found this and created this. I think this is great, like to think of like this AI hub and like where things are happening, where are these businesses popping up, why this is important to you guys. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to download this whole entire document. In this document that I created in chat, you guys are going to find different scripts on how to speak to people that are prospects for buyers, whether it's investors, the game plan. I'm also created a bunch of scripts for you guys to use for buyers, for potential sellers in the market. You guys can use this across the board because I feel that this is impacting us no matter what market you serve, because we're all essentially Bay Area. Even if you're Central Valley, even if you're Sacramento, that's still considered Central, or excuse me, the Bay Area, because of what happens in San Francisco. So it's important for you guys to understand documents and articles like this, look at it and do a little bit more deep research on it and say, what is the economic impact? And then start to craft your messaging along these lines and make sure that you're very aware and you're very astute on how to communicate what is happening with this AI boom and how it's impacting our economy from a real estate side. I'm going to go to Christina. Let's hear from you.
Yeah, this is so true because I remember, when I started as an assistant and I was always thinking like, how are these people getting all this down payment for these houses? And I would review their assets, and sure enough, I mean, we were talking 200,000 or 100,000, these sign-on bonuses. And what would happen, they would wait, let this mature, and they would cash out, and then they would buy. So that is how a lot of people in Silicon Valley started to get their foot in the door in purchasing homes in that central area. And yeah, maybe some people got some, inheritance or gift, but that was where we see a lot of the 20% downs were from their employers. So it's actually kind of like a breath of fresh air seeing that now these people, trying to recoup, like San Francisco, where you see all these empty buildings. And even in the Bay too, when I used to live in Fremont, you would start to kind of see pockets of like buildings just being emptied. And talking to clients, people, now that they have to come into the office more, even I have some of my girlfriends, they work for Apple, and
when they made the change, before it was nice. They only had to go to the office, I think, once a week. Now they're complaining. So they're like, I have to go in like 3 days a week and da da da. And it's increasing. So I think that's going to make a change in buyers in the market now, on them seeing them want to buy, first of all, because they're tired of paying rent in that area, Milpitas, of $4,500 to $5,000 a month. And two, they want to stay, they don't want to commute, because that 882.37 is just ridiculous. I remember that. So I think it's a good thing for all of us, because we're going to start to see maybe buyers that were waiting, they didn't want to do a move because they didn't have to go into the office. And if they didn't have to go in the office, it kind of left them a little more complacent, versus when you have to go to the office, I think it kind of gives someone a little bit of a more push. I know myself, like I try to put, even though like, I have a home office, but I can go into the office, which is like a couple minutes away from my house. But when I go into the office, I feel sometimes more motivated, and maybe I do stuff that I was procrastinating at home. When I go to the office, I know I got to get stuff done, and it kind of keeps you on your toes. And we may even see that with people who maybe they didn't want to buy before, but now they're changing their mind because they have to go in the office. Maybe they're making more money now. They're hitting their sales. So this is really good and interesting.
So I want you guys, and I appreciate your contribution as always, but I want you to think about this. So if we know that this is a ripple effect, we know that it's a ripple effect, whatever happens in the city. Well, I want you guys to look at this, and I want you, and let's just put our creative hat on here. Let's just be marketers, okay? So what I did is I just pulled up a BART map. What I think would be advantageous for you guys, and let me pause for a quick second, okay? And I don't think I should have to say this, but I'm going to say this. There was 44 people on this call right now. And there is less people with their camera on than their cameras, or no, there's more people with their cameras off than with their cameras on. So I'm going to pause for a second. And I want to encourage you, if you're going to be here and you're going to be in this space and you're going to be in this moment, you're going to share this time with us, get involved, put your camera on, be here, be present in this moment, you guys. How we show up here is how we show up everywhere. I want to encourage you to get on the call with your camera on, because these calls are recorded. You guys have a contribution, you have a voice, get yourself on camera. I want to pause for a quick second though, and I want to go back to this. Let's say that our hub is San Francisco. That is the mecca of all things that happen in San Francisco. That's why we have some of the highest price points in the entire nation. We rival obviously places like Los Angeles and Manhattan, but we are a microclimate different than any other place in the United States of America. So if we look here at San Francisco Central, let's just go here. Well, what I think would be important for us to do to create content that says, hey, if you're moving to San Francisco for a tech job for AI, but don't want to necessarily live in the city, here are 5 different options if you're willing to take a 30-minute, 40-minute, 50-minute commute on BART. You can go Berkeley, you can go Walnut Creek, you could go Rock Ridge, you can go other places in Oakland, you could go San Leandro, you can go as far as Hayward. But I think that if you chose to do something like this to show consumers what are the options outside of San Francisco, I'm going to venture to guess that something like this would do really, really well. And I'm just thinking outside the box here, and I want you guys to think creatively. If we know that San Francisco is the hub, well, not everyone wants to live in a high rise. Maybe they came from somewhere in the Midwest where they're used to having yard and space, and they still want a sense of home. Well, maybe San Francisco doesn't speak to that. But listen, a 30-minute BART ride might make sense for them, but they don't know any of these surrounding areas until they come across your page. And what have you done? You've educated them on what the surrounding communities offer and the different price points along your BART line. So think about commuting. Think about the people that are traveling that, hey, they might not want to live in the city, but shit, you talk to them about Walnut Creek. You talk to them about San Leandro, Cache Valley, Hayward, even all the way up to Dublin and Pleasanton, right? Share with them. I think that this would be a really, really good opportunity for you guys to just share what's possible if they did not want to live in the city. And here you are to help them with any place that they want to live in the surrounding area. So let's do this. I want to hear from you guys. I want to hear from you. I want to hear your vantage point on, first off, any thoughts and takeaways from our conversation thus far. But what are you experiencing in the market right now? Things are hot, right? Things are hot right now. We are seeing more buyer activity. We had a record-breaking month this month. We had a record-breaking month in September. So buyer demand is high, more activity out there, more inventory. So I want to go to you guys. and I want to hear your analysis of what you're experiencing currently in the market. New, up-and-comers, seasoned agents on the call. I need 3 people at least to get involved in this conversation to share with me their State of the Union, State of the Market address. Let's go, Mama San. And then we'll go to Kelly.
Lower hand. All right, gotcha. So yeah, market is hella warming up. I mean, it has been the past couple months, but last week I got into 2 contracts, and last night I put an offer out. So 3 in a month is going to be crazy for me if that happens. But to say buyers they're hot, they're coming in, especially yes in the San Francisco, Oakland area, because that's predominantly where I serve. And there's still a lot of condos on the market, so that have been sitting with the inventory. Interest rates are going a little bit down, so shit is hot.
I put in the chat, hashtag hella warm. I appreciate you, my friend. Let's go to Kelly. Kelly, and congratulations. Did you say 3 contracts in 1 week? All right, and so House of Mama San, really quick before we go to Kelly. Best year ever, high level. Talk to us about how many deals you've closed this year and what's pending.
I've closed 11 this year, and I've got these 3 pending.
Woo!
And I still got 2 more months, or still got 2 more months.
17, 18. What's the target?
At least 20. Yeah, for sure.
Let's go, my friend.
Last
Let's
year I
go.
did 14, so that this year I want to at least do 20.
All right, guys, you know how it goes. Fingers together. And what do we say on the count of 3? 1, 2, 3.
Slay!
No, it's not that. It is yes, queen.
Yes, queen. Why was I the only one that said something?
All right, let's go, Kelly. Kelly, what do you got for us?
Hello everyone. I feel like the market is very hot. I've got buyers all over the place, and I've got a lot of buyers that recently are like, will go see the home and they want the home. I've got buyers in SAC 3. I've got buyers in Dublin, Oakland, Vallejo, and we're writing offers now. So it's hot. And I just got a listing appointment. Someone is wanting to sell and buy, so that's exciting. I think it's extremely hot. I think that this is also the best year of my whole life financially.
So Kelly, and let's talk about that in a moment, but out of all those markets that you just mentioned, is one more competitive than the other? What are you experiencing? Is there one that is a standout from all those markets?
Yeah, it's pretty, okay, so Oakland's very competitive still. It's very competitive. And so is San Pablo, Richmond, and all those little areas. Those are so, like, I have a buyer, we've written at least 6 offers, and we're always like top 2. And we're always competing against like 14 to 20 other offers. And Vallejo is the same. Vallejo's, I also have a lot of buyers right now that are lowballing, actually. A lot of buyers that are lowballing. And it's almost to a point where it's like you're lowballing 100K, 50Ks, just so much. And the homes are still sitting. A lot of these homes are still sitting that we are lowballing on. So the sellers are holding tight. And I have a lot of notes over here where it's like, okay, we're going to check back on this house and offer again in 30 days. Just different things, different strategies.
Kelly, I love this. And Kelly, for the people that don't know, talk to us about production, high level. What have you done this year?
Okay, so like this year, I'm on my only my 13th deal. So I got drunk the other night and someone was like, how many deals have you done this year? And I think I said, I'm on my 20th deal, but it's my 20th since I've been doing real estate. And I'm about to close. I got a clear to close today. Yes. And yeah, I did not get I wrote a good offer yesterday in Dixon. It didn't get accepted, but they're still motivated. So, I mean, the market's very hot.
Yeah. And notice there was a word that she put in there. She put only. Listen, 13 at this early in your career, this is an incredible year for you. So let's not discount that at all. I'm super, super happy for you. Super proud of you. You've earned all of this. And, Kelly she lives in her database. She is, when it comes to database management, she has reached literally expert level on following up, campaigning, reaching out through follow-up boss and just
I'm addicted to the follow-up.
Listen, you guys, get addicted to your database, right? Get a hit of that database. I promise you guys, I promise you, there is deals in every single one of your databases. So Kelly, really, really good stuff. Let's go over to H-Bomb. H-Bomb, what do you got for us? Give us a quick snapshot of what you're experiencing in the market currently.
Well, I just thought I would share. It's so crazy. I just put a listing up. It was on the market 17 hours and I got a showing and they wrote an offer. I have another offer coming in today on it. Getting a lot more buyers. I just closed one in Stockton. I'll be closing another one in Stockton. So I'm really seeing an uptick in activity. Of course, they're not coming in hot over, like back in the day. The offer that we got, we're not going to take it because, they gave us asking, but asked for like a huge credit because, it's hard these days. People need that credit to buy down the rate, help with closing costs. But, we're going to wait to kind of counter them. We've got supposedly 2 more coming in. We're supposed to get another one. So hopefully we can, get a pretty good deal. But I mean, I just haven't seen this kind of activity in a while. So, especially this time of year, it really slows down this time of year. So, yeah, I definitely felt like the bomb. My clients were all like, man, oh my God, thank God we did those twilight shots. That did it right there. I don't know, but it's been great. Yeah, it's definitely a lot more activity in this area. And more so, I think, even in like San Joaquin County is jumping a little bit more than Stanislaus.
Love this. Really good. So 17 hours. This is crazy.
Yeah.
A couple things that I've heard you guys say, obviously, activity is up, but Kelly said something earlier that she wrote on a house that had 14, 17 offers. Listen, you guys, when you are writing offers on homes that have that much activity, the one thing that you should put in the trunk of your car when you're out doing those showings is a pair of walking shoes. If you know that that is the type of activity that they're getting on that house, you need to be letting those neighbors know, right? That house had 17 offers on it. They're only going to accept one. I mean, 16 families are super heartbroken that they can't live here. Do you know anybody that's considering a move? I would door knock the heck out of those communities that are super, super busy and super competitive. Oliver put a really good question in the chat, said, Kelly, big picture, how did you find most of those buyers? Thank you. And when you think about it, she's oscillated through all these, all over the place, door knocking, calling, open houses, anything and everything, and including her social media presence. And so it is an oscillation of all the things. And what she does is she does a really good job at managing the leads in her database when she has them there. So I appreciate this. Otis, I'm going to go to you. Rapid fire, big dog. What do you got for us?
I think that, take advantage of the market that we're in. I'm seeing a lot of action out in the Antioch and Pittsburgh. I shifted my Zillow flow over there and then shifting the Zillow flow over there, getting clients, going to open house, catching some people in out of there, having them hear me speak to the client. Right now, sellers, Kelly made a great point, like sellers are holding back. That's why they're staying on market. Buyers are being a little cheap, 50, 100,000, 75, 25,000, whatever it is. So they're staying on for a while. So as that stalemate goes on, there's a lot of deals still in there. And then the easiest pitch is like, being smart, using your vocabulary and telling people, let's not lose out on this equity that you're losing out on by not being aggressive and taking this property. Yeah, you want to lowball it, but even if we just do a little bit or give them at this price, you'll still walk in about $50,000, $60,000 in instant equity. It'll probably took you a 2-3 year period, maybe even longer, depending on where you're staying at, for it to appreciate that. So why not move into a house and steal some money from somebody that's going to leave it on the table for you, right, Elias? So let's look into those markets that are still going to win like that. And then you're seeing markets that you wouldn't even be able to fucking sniff at, like in Pinole and other areas where you just couldn't even get in, where there's great options out there right now where you can get in for hundreds of thousands of dollars less. So do your homework, get on that Bay East, see what negatives are up there. I believe last year's report, there was only 2 cities that I serve, and I serve pretty much everything except the Valley, that were a negative. You know what I mean? So take that negative and make it a positive.
Love it. I love it. So guys, I'm going to share some high level things with you guys. Who wants to door knock? Yeah, listen, Lisa just put it down in the comments down below. Who wants to door knock? Somebody team up with her, go out there, hit the pavement, knock on some doors. But I want to share this with you guys before we start to close out. There is no better team in the Bay Area to help consumers with asset management than Team Fast. Why? because of our history. We have sold over $500 million worth of real estate volume this year alone, and collectively since 2020, we've done over $4 billion worth of production. There is no company, no team that is better equipped to handle asset management than our team. To give you a quick snapshot of where we are as a company right now, you guys, we have active units 53. We have pending 83 pending units. We've sold 708. You add those two together, that's 791 families that we've helped serve. When you think about who we are right now, as a collective in the entire company, number one team, they left. So that puts us right now, number one in the entire United States of America for sales volume, right at $552 million worth of sales volume that's recorded with EXP as of today. You guys, this is what separates you. These are the types of conversations. When somebody is on the fence about having a listing appointment or doing a buyer consultation, you need to remind them of who the heck we are. There is nobody better to help you understand the process, to educate you and to advocate for you, to make sure that you're getting the home that you truly want for you and your family. And obviously use that verbiage on the other end when you're at the listing table. No better organization. And I want you guys to be able to know this, leverage this, and use this in your communication with your potential consumers, because you guys, this is what champions are made of. This is what champions are made of. So I'm going to pause you guys. I'm going to go to you guys, get some thoughts, some takeaways from you. I'm going to go to Cassandra. Cassandra, I'm going to get one key thought, one key takeaway from our time together today. You guys, let's give her a warm welcome. She is one of our guests today. So Cassandra, give us a thought and takeaway from our time together today. Let's roll.
Thank you. Definitely inspiring still. I feel like even on Monday when I joined, this is my second time joining, inspiring. Inspiring still. It's nice seeing like everybody else, they're starting off like me, and it's nice to see that it's possible for everyone. So yeah, I'm definitely inspired by everyone, and you, Elias. Thank you.
Well, I appreciate you, Cassandra. Thank you for being here. Aaron, Chris, let's go to you, big dog. One key thought, one key takeaway from our time together today. Boomer.
I wanted to give a shout out to Melody. I was messing around and looking on your YouTube page, and I went back way to the beginning when you first started this, and the calls were like 4 hours long. It was crazy. But Melody didn't have any kids yet, and one of her dreams and aspirations was to have kids. And to hear her today talk about the trials and tribulations and the full joy, that's pretty inspiring.
Pretty cool, right? Pretty cool. And like, man, there's some of you that I've worked together for now 6 years, right? 6 years. And like, we're all just babies, right? And we've replaced the bottles of liquor for bottles of milk, right? It's just been a crazy, crazy evolution of people and growth and relationships and travel and family and children and multiple children. When Molly met Silas could barely walk, right? Going into Climb Real Estate. So I appreciate that, and so glad that Mel can hear that. Trinae, let's go over to you. One key thought, one key takeaway. Let's roll.
Can I just say one thing? I love how I only been on this team maybe for like a couple weeks, but I love how everybody can just be their authentic self, and share their stories, because you don't get that at a lot of, teams or brokerages. You kind of have to put on this face and not be yourself. But I would just say Melody's story, very inspiring. Everybody's story that I've heard from every coaching session has been very, very inspiring. And I'm just grateful to be a part of this team. So thank you.
Wow. Well, we're grateful for you. When I created this platform, I wanted to create an environment to where we could just come as we are. Be yourself, be free to express, let your freak flag fly, whatever it is. Just be yourself and have some fun being the person that you truly are. And there's no other community like this in the real estate industry. And so today, I really appreciate that sentiment. We're going to get some final words. We're going to go to Patrick. I'm going to have you close us out, big dog. One key thought, one key takeaway from our time together today. Let's roll.
Hey, morning. Sorry, I was off for the good remainder of the meeting, but no, I mean, again, powerful meeting as always. I love how you started off by making us reflect on things, deeper meanings about, life, and not just worrying about the market. What we're doing right now is focusing on the market, but really important to really look at ourselves in the mirror in order for us to grow. And that's the lesson I learned from today. And also that it's hella warm right now. Me and George have a listing in Berkeley. It was raining the whole weekend. We were like, no one's gonna come through. 30 groups came in. They couldn't even take a piss. But it's hella warm right now. Take advantage of the market share, reflect on your business, reflect on yourself, and yeah, it's how off a good week.
Man, I absolutely love that hashtag hella warm. We're going to take that on moving forward, Mama San. But listen, you guys, it's always an honor. It's a privilege to be here with you guys. I truly mean that from the bottom of my heart. We're going to continue to refine. We're going to continue to get better. If you have not signed up for business planning is happening in 3 locations in a city close to you. If you have not signed up for business planning, let me just drop the link here down below. That way you guys have it. You guys can RSVP if you have not. Share this with friends, share this with homies. Let's go here. Boom, bam, we're in. All right, cool. You guys can choose 3 different locations: Fairfield, Oakland, and Stockton. Let me put this here. Boom, this is open to all. There is no cost at all for people to attend. So feel free to share that with your friends. So if you need anything, let me know. I appreciate you guys more than you'll ever know. And as always, keep it moving towards your dreams, goals, and vision, and make today a day that truly matters. Peace, you guys.